qualified with no diploma. So we get a little bit depending upon our community numbers. And then our biggest piece is prior year contact hours. So every hour we get with a student, we get about $7.75 with all of that included. And then we get that funding the next year. So all of the hours that we get this year won't be funded until next year. And we'll talk about a little bit of the good or the bad that comes with that in a little bit. There's lots of accountability in adult education. The government takes it very seriously, so it's not just some adult classes that we have for fun. There is a lot of accountability through both the federal and the state government. Some of the accountability is post-test numbers and test level gains. So every student in adult learning gets a test, a pre-test. Then once we have them for 40 hours, we can post-test them, and that cycle continues until we get what's called a level gain. So there's different levels, and wherever a student comes in, the goal is that they get to the next level. So sometimes that's if they test, we're at the top, it doesn't take much to get that level gain, and other times if they come right at the bottom to get to the next level, it's a lot of work. Some of the hardest pieces of this that we deal with is we can't post-test till 40 hours, and our students are here voluntarily. And so life gets in the way, but if we don't get a post-test, so if we don't get 40 hours in a post-test, that affects kind of our, what would you call it? Our percentages from the government at the end of the year. And then our level gains. So if we don't get high enough in our level gains as a consortium, we could get into program improvement, which we haven't been in quite a while. But just to let you know that the government does look at what we do very seriously. There's annual applications, and this year we are starting another 5-year narrative where we put together everything we do, and that has to be looked at carefully. And then ABE has content standards. There's 3 pillars they look at. So college and career readiness standards, that's the academic piece. There's the transition integration standards, that's the soft skills and professional skills. And then there's the North Star digital literacy standards. They want to make sure that our students are learning the digital skills they need, because you can barely exist in the world right now without having the computer skills. So those are the 3 areas that we have to make sure that we're doing well on, and our curriculum usually already has those pieces in place and make it easier for teachers. They used to have to make sure all of those pieces were being put in on their own. So Austin Adult Learning, if you're looking at our program, we are located at Riverland Community College in the East Building. We love being there. We have a great relationship with Riverland. Our director is Jen. I'm the coordinator. Lee is the navigator. We also have a program assistant. We currently have 3 ESL teachers and 1 college prep teacher, and then we have 2 childcare staff.
Another service we're able to offer is childcare for our students. That is funded through a governmental foundation grant. One of the requirements for that service is the student has to be in class while their child is in daycare. So that means that they can't bring their child, go to class, and then go run errands. That student has to be in class with us. They also are required to attend a half-hour, 30-minute parenting class 1 day a week.
A lot of our children in the childcare end up, once they come of age, they go to the CLC preschool. We have heard just raving, great stories of how prepared these students are. So our childcare isn't just put them in a room with some toys. We have amazing childcare workers who really take their job seriously and really treat it like a preschool. So even our youngest little learners are coming away with literacy skills, and it's great to see.
Those children also have to be in between the ages of 1 and 3 in order to attend.
What's this one?
our demographics as it stands today. As you can see on the left, that is the ethnicity percentages. We currently have a total of 142 students. If you look to the right, this is their educational level. This surprises a lot of people if you're just looking at the non-US education. So there's 18 students that have post-secondary or a professional degree, and 24 students that have secondary school diploma or alternate credential. That's half of our ESL program that has that degree. When you're looking at our age group, our average age is between 25 and 44, and we have about equal male and female students. Again, that's a total of 142 students. We have a rolling registration. At the beginning of the year, during our mass registration, we registered about 100 students. We saw probably a little over a dozen drop, and they usually drop because of job or moving again. So having a rolling registration, I think the second registration we saw about 13 students, new students. So again, having that rolling registration really helps, and this is just current, so this is ever changing as well.
Somewhere here is a hidden one. Where did it go?
John deleted it.
Yeah.
We had a slide about the classes we offer. So currently we are offering 4 levels of ESL. That is a pre-lit level. There we go. Pre-lit is those students that come to our classes speaking little to no English. We also offer a beginning class, an intermediate class, and our advanced classes. We have 2 sessions. Our morning session runs from 8:30 to 11, and our afternoon session runs from 11:30 to 2. We offer GED classes. Unfortunately, right now, we are only offering an online course. That is one of our challenges for this year, and we will talk a little bit about that later. An ESL basic math class. We have several classes that we partner with different community partners, such as our North Star Digital Literacy class, college prep, pre-CNA, office support specialists, and consortium and statewide high flex.
So one of the biggest changes in the last couple of years has been how much we work with our community partners. So that's a huge part of what I do on a daily basis, is working with Riverland, working with WDI, in building programming to make sure that our students are getting fully supported in their goals. So starting with ABE, and then some of it is some co-taught classes to make sure that students are transitioning well and getting the support that they need. And one of the biggest challenges we have is lack of teachers, and that's all the way around the board. That's not just us, that's probably some of the K through 12, and not just in Austin, in probably the whole world. But we do have 5 teaching positions that are currently open: GED, day ESL, and 3 night ESL. This is the first time we haven't offered night ESL since, before I have been there. We have over 50 adult potential students who really want those English classes because they work during the day. We're just not able to offer them because we don't have the teachers. Our partners and local businesses also have other classes that they would like us to teach and offer, but we can't because we don't have the teachers. In adult learning, you still need a K through 12 license in order to teach. This also comes into play when I talked about the funding. What we offer today affects what we're able to offer next year because of funding. So when we're not able to have these classes, our numbers go down, and then we potentially aren't able to offer them the following year because we didn't get the hours for the funding. And then so if we ever want to start these back up, we have to look for funding or creative ways to start that up again. So that is our biggest challenge right now, is to watch these programs potentially disappear.
Our students are amazing, and our program is unique in the district because our students are there because they want to be and not because they have to be. They are so inspirational to us all every single day. There are so many students that come in from working the third shift, and they come to school with us. They stay and learn their English class, they take a math class. Basically, anything we offer, we have students that just want to learn. After our mass registration this fall, we were talking about students that we didn't see from last year that we thought we would see. And we came to learn that they are now fully enrolled in Riverland. So it's great to watch them with their grow in their academic goals. I get really, really excited when I talk about student success stories. I could go on forever talking about them, but I'm gonna save you all from that, and we have asked one of our students, Maria, to come up and share with you, give a little insight on her end and talk to you about what Lost in Adult Learning has done for her and how it has helped her. So Maria.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Maria. I am a student. I started in 2009. When I came here, I don't know any English. I am afraid to go to a store. I am afraid to go somewhere because I don't know any English. And then I started in 2009. I be there in 2010. And then I need to start because I have kids and I have my husband, and I am difficult to go to the class. So I start, but then I go back in 2014. And when I get back, I take classes in the morning and the afternoon and the evening because I want to learn. And so in that year, I tried to get my GED, and I passed math and science. And then I need to stop again because I have another kid. So 3 kids are so hard to go to school. And so 2017, I come again, and then last year I come again, and I pass social studies, and I also, the program offered a customer service class, and I attend the class, and we get certificates for the class, and I pass my social studies, so I need to pass language art to get my GED. So it's a long way, but it's...
And one thing I want to add about Maria, she has the option to take that language arts class in Spanish, and we have talked to her about that option, and what did you tell me?
I told my husband maybe it's time to start going to school, but he and my kids say no. You try to get this in our country. Sometimes you don't have the opportunity. Sometimes because your parents don't have money, and it's hard for us sometimes in our country. But here we can find this amazing program. It's amazing, the teachers, the people, because the classes are different countries, different nations. We are a variety of students, but everybody are like a family. But
And when we talked to Maria about taking that language test in Spanish, she told me no. She said that she passed all 3 of the other tests in English, and that was her goal, to pass all 4 of them in English. So she is a hardworking student.
I tried to.
Maria, we are very proud of you. That's, the people around this table do the things they do so that we can provide opportunity. And when we see someone who has taken advantage of that opportunity and excelled, it makes us very proud. So congratulations on what you're able to accomplish.
You're also doing like pre-CNA next month or something? She's one of our students, whenever there's something she can learn, she's there, so it's great to watch. All right, are there any questions? An answer, try to answer?
Questions, comments?
No questions, just thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, you might go up on the 3rd floor of the high school or an elementary school and see a teacher who's been teaching 3rd grade elementary for 23 years. How about at the adult learning center? I mean, do you have a lot of turnover? Are there people that stay there and teach ESL or math, or do they stay for a long time? Or is it difficult to keep people in place?
No, it's not difficult. So our teaching staff right now, Judy has been there a couple years longer than me. So she's been doing GED, then pre, then some of the college co-taught classes. Mary's been there a year less than me. Kristen a couple years less. So no, we don't see a whole lot of, and Chris was new last year. So there's not a whole lot of turnover for our main teachers.
But you said this is the first year that you've been unable to provide an evening course.
Sure, so our evening classes are generally teachers who teach during the day, and then just as kind of a side job, come and teach at night. But especially we've seen with COVID, there's just a burnout level where it's just a lot to teach all day and then come at night. So our night teachers who teach during the day say, this is why we got into teaching, because you just have students who you just get to teach, and they're in good moods and they want to be there, so you're not dealing with a lot of
There's no behavior problem.
right. Some of the other barriers, but I think we just hit a point where the burnout level is pretty high for teachers. So our night teachers, there usually was a little bit of a turnover, but that's just because we're asked, most of them this was a second job. And that's just a lot of work for anybody.
Thank you so much for what you're doing with this program.
We'd also like to invite you out to the college. Stop by, visit anytime you are able or free, and talk to the students and see what's going on in the classrooms. We would love to have you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a request for approval of donations. Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Andrew Adams, will present. This is an action item.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board. In keeping with the theme of gratitude tonight, I would just like to thank Ms. Sharon Holmes for preparing this document for us to approve this evening. Tonight before you, we are asking you to accept the following gifts. From Hormel Foods, $750 to the Austin High School football team for expenses. From Steve and Jennifer Grove, $150 to our lunch tray program. From Joyce Pashusta, $50 to our lunch tray program. From First United Methodist Church, $900 to our lunch tray program. And the extremely generous donation from Hormel Foods in the amount of $10,000 to our lunch tray program, which puts us up over $20,000 to the program this year, so we can rub that in Albert Lee's face. I'm not competitive. Fast Break Club in the amount of $4,323.58 to our boys basketball program for uniforms. Hormel Foods Charitable Trust for $1,137.50 to Nevlin Elementary for their Spirit Wear for all students. The Home Run Club in the amount of $637.28 to the baseball program for jerseys. Dugan Scallion Foundation for $5,000 to our Special Services Department. And a fun note on that one, we actually didn't apply for our Special Ed Department and they donated to them anyway, so we were pretty excited to see that.
Cool.
Joey and Cindy Furman for $100 for the high school music program for the piano restoration. So with that, we would recommend that the school board of Austin Public Schools approve the gifts as presented.
I'd just like to say that Katie and I and Dr. Page were in the Nevlin office when their Spirit Wear was arrived at Nevlin, and very cool stuff, and I'm sure it gives every student a t-shirt, a Nevlin t-shirt. And so every student can come, and on Fridays, that's their Spirit Day, and it was pretty fun to see them come out of the box, so. Okay, do we have a motion to approve donations?
So moved.
We have Peggy moved, CC second.
Correct. I don't mean to pin you on this, but, just a question here. Like, $4,323 for boys' basketball uniforms, and I was an athlete and involved in sports in the high school league, so I'm not criticizing, but then the Home Run Club donates $637 to baseball jerseys. I mean, and I coached VFW baseball, so that was, we had to go out and fundraise to get uniforms and bats and balls and pay for the buses and all like that. But can you explain to Dr. Page why a basketball team would have to buy uniforms when doesn't the school do that? Or am I?
Yep, we buy uniforms, boosters or donations come in that can help with that. There could be other attire for warm-ups that they wear for that, so it really depends on what the sport is and what the team is looking for.
And I think it may have something to do with the booster clubs for the different sports too, and how active they are and how much revenue you can bring in, so.
Can
More
you,
to the story.
the
Cece?
Hormel Foods Charitable Trust, is that a place that money funnels through to come, or do you know anything about that, Sharon?
It's directly from Hormel Foods. It's not people contributing to that.
Oh, okay, thank
It's a
you,
special program they have.
thank you.
We have a motion before us in a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have request approval of World Language Department's extended field trip request. This is an action item, and Katie Baskin will present. Welcome.
Good evening, Chairperson Green, members of the board, Superintendent Page. For your approval, we have 2 field trips in front of you tonight. First is for the World Language out of country field trip to France and Spain during June of 2024 for approximately 40 students. This field trip is self-funded. They travel by trains, planes, and automobiles. And they are given, the students are given the opportunity to apply what they have learned in the classroom in authentic situations in France and Spain.
So this trip is 2 years out. Correct. Yes. Do we have any questions regarding it?
Katie, what are we, this is a hefty amount of money. So, can you talk a little about, the process for kids that they cannot afford this trip? I just wanna be sure this is open to all.
Sure. That's why they start this process now, so that they have payment plans, they have opportunities for funding for all students. So they really try and create opportunities for students to raise the funds. John, is there anything I'm missing?
Nope.
But it's really, that's why we come for requests so far in advance, so that students do have the opportunity to do that.
Like, do they do group fundraisers?
Nope, but the actual company has like payment plans, et cetera. And again, it's not for every student at Austin Public Schools either. It's students who have taken language, because obviously, the desire is for them to practice in this, French and Spanish together. And this isn't the first endeavor that they've ever done in Europe. They've done that before. And it's a very similar process.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Katie moved, is there a second?
Leathers will second.
Don Leather, second. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval for the Austin FFA extended field trip. Request to the National FFA, and we heard about this previously this year, so.
We did. This is an excellent opportunity. Before you tonight, we have for approval attendance to the National FFA Convention, October 24th through October 29th for 8 students and chaperones. They only travel by van. It's exciting. But really to build on those leadership skills and further their agricultural knowledge. I have had the privilege of attending this event, and it is truly, truly remarkable opportunity for our kids in leadership development in all aspects. So I am very excited that we have 8 students who are able to attend.
So, do we have a motion to approve? So moved by Peggy, is there a second? Second by Evan, is there discussion?
Okay, the total is $6,450, and each student pays $450 individually, which would come to 5 students, 8 students?
Yep.
That's $3,600. Does the FFA pay for the balance of that?
Yep, there's, it looks like funding from both Perkins as well as their FFA account.
And I think part of the, expertise of that organization is money management. And kids are in that on the, ground level, be it fruit or everything else they do. They're aware of the resources that they need for what it is they do, so.
Yeah, they do some pretty extensive planning and budgeting for who and hopefully how many they get to attend. And they really do work to really be cognizant in their spending as well as just their experiences.
Is this a big arena? And
Yeah, it's amazing in Indianapolis.
Okay,
Cool.
so we have a motion before us and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next, request approval of revised policies. So before us, we have policy 102, the equal education opportunity policy. Do I have a motion to approve?
So
Peggy, motion, is there a second?
I second.
Second by Katie, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have policy 515, protection and privacy of pupil records. It's an alliteration policy, and so that was, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, Angie motion, is there a second? Evan seconded that, discussion?
Where is this posted, the notice to parents and families? Is that
So
on
we
the
have a spot.
website?
Yep, we have a spot on the website that's called annual notices, and all of our annual notices are there in accordion fashion. It's also linked in student handbooks. And for those that we're required to do specific outside, special annual notifications, that's done via portal pushes and other communication. So there's a lot of ways that it's communicated. But in the accordion annual notices under district resources on the website.
Thank you.
Okay, further questions, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy 609, religion. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Peggy, is there a second?
Second?
second by Cece, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy 707, transportation of public school students. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second it.
Okay, Cece made the motion, Don second, discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Policy 708, transportation of non-public school students. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Peggy, second.
I'll second.
Second by Katie, any discussion?
In the, under letter N, it says unless designated by the school board, the superintendent will be the designee. Is that what we're deciding by approving this without a designator?
Correct.
Thanks.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy 722, public data and data subject request. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Peggy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Cece seconded that, any discussion?
Yes, the question I had was for this policy. Anyway, yes, thank you.
Same spot. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, we have a motion before us.
Oh, I thought we was going down. Go ahead, no, I'm done.
We have a motion and a second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We should ask Mrs. Alms if she'd like a rebuttal for the next meeting. Okay. Next up, we have a school board study session on Monday, October 24th. And I'm afraid to say I will not be here again. As my position as a trustee of Minnesota Public Pension Funds, I have a national pension meeting regarding police and fire. And right now, when it comes to pensions, police and fire are on, I guess, the pinnacle of what's going on with public pensions. So that meeting was scheduled several months ago, so I will not be here. So I'm going to ask my vice chair to step forward to that particular meeting.
I would be honored to do so.
I will also not be in the state.
Okay, so two of us are, that means if there's 5 left, and so it's really important to let Mrs. Alms know if anyone else is unable to attend that meeting, so. Excellent, I appreciate everybody's, work tonight and everything that went to put this together. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. So moved by Peggy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Katie second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.